Well, we would have gotten you a rapid reaction sooner, but I think someone just got called for a foul.
Yeah.
Again, there were 39 of them between Louisville and Florida State. The final, the Cards get the win, 89-81. Eric, the usual suspects, I think, Chucky Hepburn, Javon Hadley, Terrence Edwards leading the way. Rain Smith dealing with sickness this week, wasn't shooting like his usual self. But I thought this was a nice test for Louisville in a week where they were clearly dealing with a lot off the court, feeling under the weather. And Florida State's not a team that you don't want to be at 100% physicality or physically ready for, I should say.
No, they're deep and they are very athletic. And I'll tell you, they put game pressure on Louisville. Louisville did a great job, got out to a 20-point lead in this game, and then Florida State cuts it to 6.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, you have a chance to panic. And there's a lot of reason for panic because Chucky Hepburn had 3 fouls and Terrence Edwards had 4 fouls. And you remember the joke that Pat Kelsey used to make before the season about Chucky Hepburn. You give him the ball at 7 o'clock and he gives it back to you the next morning safe and sound.
Yeah.
Well, they gave him the ball with 8 minutes left in this game, and somehow like 4 minutes evaporated. He just came down, they ran set plays, he got to the free throw line, and they killed 4.5 minutes of this game. You know, they were up 12 at the beginning of it. The end of it, they're up 15 after he makes a huge 3 out on the wing and everybody goes nuts at the shot clock buzzer. And they had to hold off a little run at the end. But to be able to do that 4.5 minute stretch where you just kill it, and then at the end of games be solid, always make free throws, which they do, not beat yourself. They do a lot of things right at the right times, and they've done it all season.
I thought Leonard Hamilton spoke to that really well after the game. He was asked, kind of what made the difference in this one with his team being able to cut that deficit a few times. The word he used was maturity.
Yeah.
And that's what you see out of guys like Terrence Edwards and Javon Hadley and Chucky Hepburn who have played a lot of basketball. Eric, Chucky doesn't have a ton of games where he's got to go off for 29 points. We're used to his assist numbers being a little bigger, but I thought you saw him over the course of this game realize I got to kind of be the aggressor here and draw fouls and set things up by driving the lane.
Well, and you're not going to be able you're not going to be able to beat your guy. He's as athletic or more athletic than you are from Florida State. That's what they have, and so you're going to have to do something different. You're going to have to drive to score. You're going to have to do some different things. And that's what he did, and that's very impressive. This is a game, though, we got to say, they're 21-6 now. They won 5 in a row, 15 of the last 16. It's a situation where you're lucky to be playing Florida State and you're not playing Florida because you get guys sick and you get guys in foul trouble and you're playing a team like that, you're probably done.
Yeah.
So we do recognize that as we talk about this. We know they're beating teams that aren't going to be in the tournament, that aren't going to be great teams.
Yeah.
But they're still beating them, and we look forward to seeing them play against somebody at this next level. But I just think, when you look at their maturity, Terrence Edwards, 16 points, he gets to the line late and delivers. School record, 17 free throws for Chucky Hepburn, 17, he takes 19. It's impressive, and Florida State is an athletic team that had momentum, and they stopped them cold and preserved a win.
Yeah, and Javon Hadley continues to show that I call it like a junkyard dog style of play a little bit. When I used to try to play pickup basketball, I couldn't shoot it very well, and I wasn't bigger than anybody, so I would throw up crazy floaters. Javon Hadley has perfected being undersized against bigger players, and this is the last time I ever compare my basketball game to anybody's because it's bad.
You got to get some tattoos.
Or something like that.
Grow it out.
But it always impresses me that what he is going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he is going to get the ball in the post. He's going to bang you a couple times down there to try and get position. He still finds a way to contort his body in a couple different ways to finish around the basket better than I think guys who are a lot bigger than him do most of the time. It's impressive.
And let's talk about the bigs here. Pat Kelsey came in after the game and really praised Kadir Traore and his stat line. He's got 4 rebounds and 5 points, and it's not going to blow you away. Thought he gave him a lot. I think James Scott, there's a noticeable difference. In the first half, he played 12 minutes. Louisville was plus 23 in those minutes he was on the court. It was no comparison. Noah Waterman, who's been slowed with the flu like a bunch of other guys on this team, he wasn't really effective in this game. But Scott, when he was out there, he made the right slides on defense. He got down there. He offered enough resistance defensively. And then on offense, man, the way he screens and passes and move the ball, he makes it really tough for them to deal with. I mean, they didn't have a great night, and they're at 89 points against a very athletic team. They can do a lot of things. It's going to be fun to watch them in the postseason.
No question. And before we wrap this up, one shout out to Leonard Hamilton, the longest tenured coach in the ACC. I've thought for a long time he's one of the more underrated guys to do it. Took a program that really didn't have much relevance in a great basketball conference and turned them into a yearly contender in here, and gave them an identity. I mean, you know what you are getting when you play against Florida State, and that's a huge credit to him. Obviously a former assistant, Kentucky, coached with Joe B. Hall, and has had a tremendous impact on that program.
And this is a young Florida State team, but it is a typical Florida State team. They got a ton of guys. They're all very athletic. You know, Rick Bowes said before the game, I hope they do something for Leonard. And they did. They let him stand on the court and get in the way of a play during the game, and they didn't tee him up. And the fans, I'm sitting down in the corner, the fans on the other baseline fans are like, you're going to let him stand on the court? And the ref said, man, take it easy. He's old. Let him do what he wants to do. That's it. So I can appreciate that as a guy that's building up some years. But Ed Peake offered to send out and get him Claudia Sanders. So things are going well for Leonard Hamilton. Did get the win today. But again, as Kelsey said, this is a team we could see again. He's obviously has some seedings in mind in the ACC tournament, thinks that Florida State's a team that could do some things given their depth, which it probably makes a lot of sense that they would. So again, good win for Louisville. You can't kick on 21-6, 14-2 in the ACC. I don't think any of us thought when they had lost 4 out of 5 early in the season, and they lost, you know, Kason Pryor and Corin Johnson and Traore was out, that we didn't think we'd be talking about a 21-6 basketball team, and here we are. So it's pretty cool.
It's a 13-win improvement from last year, which actually ties the largest year-to-year turnaround in program history. That says enough within itself. For now, he's Eric Crawford. I'm Tyler Greever for WDRB Sports.